Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I'll be covering Spirit World Issue 1 and Stargirl 6 of 6. So I'll now get things quickly organised to cover the comic that I'll be addressing first, and then we'll be able to get into the story. So, moving into Spirit World first, we have self-insert, Alyssa Wong. Spirit World with Xanthi. And jumping into one of the key things is, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give a 7.5 out of 10. I really like her sword because at least it shows that this character needs a weapon as well, in regards to, I guess, countering opponents or going up against opponents, and that they don't require on their wit and whatever strengths and abilities that they have. So it's nice to see something that has a bit that gives this character a bit of an extension of who they are. So let's now move into the internal art and have a look around the beginning, middle and end. So as the story starts, it takes place in Chinatown in Gotham City, and we of course drop into Dr. Nguyen's goods. And to those who don't recognize that name, it's also one of the artists that has also worked with Jeff Lemire. As the story continues, as we move towards the middle, she realizes that she's going to need the help of John Constantine, whilst Cassandra Cain is in the spirit world and eventually getting a little bit of help from someone within the spirit world. And last but not least, we move towards the end of the story, to which Xanthi gets a reunion with her mother. For the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story. Now, first things first, seeing that this is a new series, it's not really necessary for the new series to have references, but if they choose to put it in there, good for them. It might also help include getting some bonus points within it. So we do end up getting a comic book reference to Lazarus Planet, Dark Fate, which she first made her appearance. The next area is Time, to which we had Now and Meanwhile used, but Now was used in Gotham City and Chinatown in the location, and Meanwhile took place a little bit later, once again in Gotham, but not so much the spirit world. But we did have the spirit world in this, and it was nice to see a difference between, or a somewhat transition between, the physical realm to which she's presently in, and also to where Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, is in the spirit world. So it's really nice to see that being brought into this. A cast of characters consisting of Xanthi Shao, Constantine, or John Constantine. We had Cassandra Cain. We had Bowen, who also helped Cassandra Cain, and Popo, who was, I think his mother, or maybe even a mentor to him. For the overall story rating for this, I give a 7 out of 10. Let's see how the next issue goes. I'm only going to be giving like the first 2 issues just to test the grounds. If I do enjoy the second issue, I might consider picking up the third, and so on. So now it's time to move into Stargirl and the Lost Children. So as we begin the move into Stargirl and the Lost Children, the first question is in relation to the cover. Does this cover in any way, shape, or form connect to something that's happening inside with the story? Yeah, it does quite a lot, actually. And you get to see pretty much everyone you see here on the cover make an appearance and also playing their part in the story. And yes, it's a lot of characters, but one good thing about this story, at least it centers on certain characters, like towards the end, and also a little bit towards the start. So for the cover, I give an 8 out of 10. Great job, Jeff Johns. I have really enjoyed this story. I'd love to see more done with these characters, maybe even a crossover with the Super Sons, would be really great. And get Peter J. Tomasi back. I don't care how, but get him back. And maybe have yourself, Dan Jurgens, and Peter J. Tomasi work together on a story together. I think that would be fantastic. Well, now it's time to move into the middle part, which I address the area of the art, which we have a look around the beginning, middle, and end. And as we start to jump in regards to the beginning of the story, we have all of the lost children that are stuck on Orphan Island starting to take on Owlman, and as well as the childminder. And things are about to break loose. As things continue, they go up against Owlman, and of course we've got Corky Baxter, the sidekick to the Time Master. And of course, last but not least, towards the end, and I must admit, when I was reading through this story, I loved the reunion. It really stood out, and it's nice to see these characters having a reunion with like their main hero characters. So basically, main hero plus their sidekick. Absolutely incredible. For the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story rating. So first things first, what did we get in the area of time? Nothing really at all. So let's move to the next one. What things did we get? Location, of course, cast of characters. So with the location, a lot of this takes place on Orphan Island, but a little bit later on in the story, we end up going to the time lab of the Time Masters, and it was really nice to see what was happening there. The cast of characters, considering of Owlman, we do get the appearance of the JSA, also coming to help save the day as well in their part. And also learning where Orphan Island is and how that sort of played a part with Owlman. And of course we had the lost children that were on the island, and I'm calling them presently the lost children because I'm not going to waste my time just going through the main characters. We had, I think it was I'll pass on that right now. We also had the Time Master and Corky Baxter, who was actually one of the lost children. For the overall story rating in this, I really enjoyed this story. From beginning to end, it was worth the pickup. I want to get the trade for this. I mean, I really want to get the trade for this for when it comes out. So until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.